It's a few weeks into the new homeschool year, possibly even a month, and you are finding yourself hitting a rough spot already. You had these amazing dreams of what the homeschool year would be like, whether this is your first year, your fifth year, or your 20th year. You, in your mind, were having a certain expectation for this homeschool year, and it's not going like that. Let's take a few minutes here today and evaluate and get you guys onto a good path for the homeschool year. Welcome to Little by Little Homeschool Podcast, where we talk anything and everything homeschool and all that encompasses the homeschool lifestyle. I'm your host, Leigh Nguyen. I'm a mom who never intended to homeschool, and suddenly I am here, 14 years later, with 2 homeschool graduates and 1 more to go. No matter where you are in your homeschool journey, Little by Little Homeschool seeks to empower and encourage you to carry out this amazing calling of home educating and discipling your children. It's not always easy, but I'm here to walk alongside you because I promise that these years are worth all of your effort. Grab that load of laundry that needs folded, settle in at the kitchen sink to wash those dishes, or tie up those walking sneakers, and let's get into today's topic. It's never fun to hit that rough patch when it comes to homeschooling, and it especially feels hard and defeating at the beginning of the homeschool year. You're saying to yourself, wait a minute, we are having a hard time right now, and we've just only begun. What is going to happen this year? How am I going to get through this homeschool year? How are we going to be able to do this? And you might be ready to throw up your hands and say, hey, school bus, can you stop here at our house? No, we don't want to do that. It's okay to admit that you are having a rough start to the homeschool year. I've had plenty of those, unfortunately. But the point is, what do you do with that? Do you stay in that rough patch? Do you stay feeling defeated? Do you stay in that negativity? I sure hope not. Today, we're going to get you out of that and get you into a much better spot. So I have 4 ways that I'm going to share with you right now on how to make this homeschool year better. Whether you've just completed 1 week, maybe even 1 or 2 days, or it's been a couple of weeks, or you've been at this for maybe a month or 2. Let's now evaluate how you can get yourself back to a better place. That vision that you had, that idea of that dream of how this homeschool year was going to look when you were picking out the curriculum, whether that was back in the spring or just the evening before you started your homeschool year, and you're like, oh, this is going to be glorious. We're going to be like Maria in The Sound of Music, dancing on the hilltops with the flowers and spinning. It's just going to be so wonderful and such a magical homeschool year. And the magic wore off. Maybe it wore off on day 1 or it wore off after a couple weeks. Let's make it better. The first way that I have for you is to stop and take some time and to look at and evaluate your overall mission for homeschool. What are you doing here? What is home education? What is education for your kids? What is the purpose? What is the reason? What is your why for homeschooling? What do you hope to accomplish? Whether you are pulling kids out from school and just starting homeschool and you only have them home for a couple years until they are completed with their compulsory school ages, or you are starting out from the very beginning. This is what you have wanted to do. It doesn't matter how many years of homeschooling you have. Take a look and be realistic. If you only have a couple of years of homeschooling, because say you brought home a 15 or 16-year-old, don't come up with a vision or something that is unrealistic to be able to accomplish in a couple of years. And if you are staring down the years ahead because you have a 5-year-old and you have a vision for homeschooling, just know that that vision is something that's going to take you years to accomplish. Okay, so be realistic, but you need to have a vision. What's the purpose? Why are you spending your time doing this? Wouldn't it just be easier to put your kids on the school bus, like I mentioned earlier? I do have an episode titled that. I will drop it in the show notes, the link for that in the show notes, so you can take a listen to that. But evaluate, what is your vision? What are we doing here? Talk to your husband. Ask him to help you to kind of get that figured out if you need to. And then ask yourself, what are the goals for this homeschool year? What are the goals for our family as well? This is when you break down that vision into this homeschool year. What are your goals for your individual children for this year? These could be actual homeschool, home education type of things. Maybe it's just like, my goal for my child this year is to be able to hold a pencil the correct way. Or my goal for this year is that we get through our biology curriculum and we excel in it and we do really well with the dissections. Whatever the goals are for your year, have a couple of them. Don't overwhelm yourself with too many, but take some time and to revisit what is your vision, what are your goals, and then making sure that what you are doing, what you have planned for this homeschool year is aligned with those. You might have planned things that are not in line with your vision, and that might be why you're having a rough start, because really there isn't a cohesion. There is no reason for you to be doing whatever it is. Maybe it's a co-op or some type of activity or some extracurricular, some sports program or something, and you're like, that doesn't really quite align with what our vision is. So revisit that. If you have never created a vision, you don't know how to come up with goals, you don't know how to break that down, that's where your homeschool blueprint can come alongside you. So if you're really struggling in this area, as well as some other areas, I'd encourage you to get yourself started in your homeschool blueprint. It's never too late. A couple weeks into the homeschool year, no big deal. It's never too late to be able to get yourself onto a good footing and good foundation. You can get information for that at littlebylittlehomeschool.com/blueprint. And as always, the link is in the show notes. The second way to make your homeschool year better is to evaluate your expectations. I have a couple categories here on what to evaluate. Oftentimes with those dreams that we come up with, we have too high of expectations. It's just like I was mentioning earlier, that vision where we have just something that is just too much to be able to accomplish in only the possibly 3 years that you are homeschooling your child, or you're trying to cram in that vision all into a 5-year-old, whereas that vision is supposed to take you 12, 13 years to accomplish. But evaluate your expectations. What are you expecting out of yourself for this homeschool year? Are you expecting yourself to be a super homeschool mom? Well, I got an episode about that. I will drop that link for you in the show notes. What are you expecting of yourself? If you actually stop and look at what you have on your to-do list, are you expected to do too much? That's just literally physically impossible to be able to home educate possibly in the way that you have set up. You might need to outsource some things. You might just need to drop some things. You might need to just kind of step back and not hold such high expectations for some things. So evaluate the expectations you have for yourself, the expectations you have for your kids. You are homeschooling the child that is right in front of you right now. That doesn't mean that we don't want growth and we don't want maturity, we don't want wisdom in them, but take a look at them right now. Are they having just a really difficult time and are unruly? And not just like they can't sit still and do a couple minutes worth of work, but it's just they are being disobedient. Well, this is the kid you have right there in front of you. And so what is it that you need to actually concentrate on with them? So evaluating yourself, evaluating your kids, evaluate the curriculum. Maybe you have too much curriculum. Maybe you have curriculum that is just you're having a hard time figuring it out. If so, say you have like 3 different brand new curriculums to you and having a hard time figuring them out, pare it down to 1. Take the other 2, put them aside. You can get to it, don't worry, but get really good at that one curriculum. Figure out how it works. I've been there plenty of times. You take a look at it, you get this box and you're like, wow, this is really hard to do. Get onto YouTube. Do some searching of how others have interpreted and worked this specific curriculum into their homeschool and get some ideas from them. And then after you get good at that, that might take a week or 2, then add in the second curriculum that you have to figure out. It won't be so difficult because you're just trying to figure out that one and you have the foundation, you have that understanding of the first one that was difficult, and then you can add the third one in. So evaluating your curriculum. Is it too much curriculum? Is it difficult curriculum? Is the math maybe too much? Maybe you thought that you could skip a level with your child. You're realizing, no, we kind of missed some things. Evaluate your commitments. What are you committed to during the day? What are you committed to outside of your homeschool hours? What are you committed to on the weekends? And then take a look at life in general. Did you just have a baby? Or do you have possibly a parent that's going through a health crisis? Do you help out, volunteer somewhere? Overall, just life can be so full. And then we add home education into it. And are we adding way too much to it? So be realistic with your expectations, considering the season of life that you are in right now. Don't compare possibly what I'm doing. I am only homeschooling a 12th grader, but you might be only homeschooling a 12th grader, but this is only your second or third year of homeschooling. And so you're saying, how is she so relaxed and how is she not so worried about this and confident about it? Well, listen, this is his 13th, 14th year of, not that he's stayed back, I'm counting preschool, but I've been with him. We've been side by side doing this home education thing, and I have 2 that have graduated. Just take a look at you and your life. Don't compare to others in different seasons. The third way to make this homeschool year better is to ask yourself and really take a look at, what is my attitude about this? There were some years I stepped into the homeschool year and I was annoyed. I was annoyed that my summer break was done. I was annoyed that the time that I had during the summer to garden and to work on the house and to have free time and be able to sit and read leisurely, that those hours were gone. That my focus then for those hours was now replaced with giving my kids their lessons and teaching them and guiding them. And listen, they probably had a little bit of an attitude too. They enjoyed the summer and the freedom that the summer had offered. And so it's really evaluating, what is my attitude about it? Our kids will take directly from us. They are good at sensing the temperature in the room. And if mom is super cold because she is not interested in this and wishes she could do something else, or mom is super hot, in other words, she's about to blow her top at any moment, what is your attitude? Take that to God in prayer. You know what your attitude is about the homeschool year. And you could be going into the homeschool year and you have a really good attitude about it, but there's just these other things that you need to evaluate your vision, or maybe it's the expectations that you have that's just a little bit wonky, that's not quite right. And that's okay. That I'm saying with this third thing, this might not apply to you, but oftentimes their attitude can really dictate how the homeschool year goes. And listen, I'm over here raising my hand too. And this is something that can come up easily because we are people too. As homeschool moms, we're people and we have things that we wish that we could do. We have our own wants and desires and our own frustrations. So honestly, evaluate your attitude. And the fourth way to make this homeschool year better is to put first things first. You might be putting some things on the back burner that need to be moved up to the front. You have to get your priorities in order. I'm going to highly encourage that your number one priority, no matter the age of your kids, you might have, let's say, triplets that are newborns. I understand that that's probably be a little bit crazy in your homeschooling kids. That might be a little extreme. But what is your relationship with Jesus like? Even if you had triplets and you were homeschooling 10 other kids, you could probably listen to the Bible on audio while you are feeding them. You could possibly be listening to the Bible while you're making dinner or going about some chores or hanging around the kids, and they could listen to it as well. There is always at least a minimal amount that we can do to pour into our relationship with God. Are you going to be able to sit there in quiet seclusion for 3 hours every single day? No, probably, possibly, maybe never. You might not be able to do that. Maybe someday, way, way in the future when you have grandkids and great-grandkids. But let's focus right now. What can you do right now with your relationship with Jesus? Spend time reading the Bible most days. Use just moments throughout the day to pray. When you feel like, we were talking about earlier, maybe you're that hot mom who's about to blow her top, you stop and you pray, Lord, I need the Holy Spirit a lot right now, and I don't want to blow my top. Give me wisdom for this moment. But again, first things first, priorities in order, your relationship with Jesus. Second, after that is fostering that faith in your children. They need to come to their own faith in order to be able to live it out beyond the walls of your home, beyond the 18 plus years that they live at your house. They have to be able to internalize, and this has to be their own personal faith and understanding of the gospel. And so spending time, Bible time. So first things first, maybe you can't get to it first thing in the morning, your kids are up and running and you start homeschool fairly early, Bible time with kids. And later on you can spend your own time, but you can use that time, Bible time with your kids as well. The third part of this first things first and having our priorities in order with the first one, your relationship with Jesus, Bible time with the kids, and fostering that love of God and desire to glorify him and modeling that to them is we're going to have some slashes in here, discipline / discipleship / relationship. Those three things there have to come first before maybe the academics, because the academics are going to go a lot more smoothly once you have taught your kids discipline, how to be disciplined themselves, after you have possibly disciplined them, walked them through, after you have discipled them, after you have poured into their relationship, they know that you're on their side. And this doesn't always show the fruit for many years. If you listen to the Q&A episode before this one, I shared a bit about my older son, and it took many, many, many years for him to understand. I am on your side. That is why it might seem like I am on you all the time. And that is why it might seem like there is a lot of discipline and a lot of discipleship going on, because I have a bigger picture in mind. So keep your priorities in order. The rest will flow from that. And if a lot of what I'm saying to you is really resonating and you're like, I really need to be spoken into more and encouraged in all of these areas that I just spoke about right now, 1 month from now is Little by Little Homeschool Conference. However, tickets are going to close on October 8th. So if you have been thinking about coming, we would love to have you. Get some details at littlebylittlehomeschool.com/conference. It is on Saturday, October 18th in Syracuse, New York. Zan Tyler, Whitney Newby will be our guest speakers, and I will be hosting the event, and I am just really looking forward to it. And all of these things we talked about are things that are going to be discussed, and we're going to encourage you in, and a whole lot more. Can't wait to see you there. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode. If it was just what you needed to hear, would you do me a favor and share it with a friend? And if you would like to connect more, social media links and more are in the show notes just for you. I promise to see you back here real soon.